All right, so I pre-mixed up the dry ingredients and the wet ingredients. Reason being, there's too many ingredients for me to keep reading and talking to y'all at the same time. So here I am mixing together all of the dry ingredients. They'll be listed in the description below. And then next up we have the wet ingredients, and that's peanut butter dried. So I just added water to it, so it's just a powdered peanut butter, and you can just use regular peanut butter or none at all. Like I mentioned later on, you don't need to use it if you have a peanut allergy. So now I've just started to mix up the wet ingredients, which I'll realize really soon that I should have done it straight in a pan, because otherwise the ingredients won't mix together as well as they should. So mistakes were made. Start in the pan and then pour it into a different bowl, or keep it in the pan, whichever you like. But yeah. So welcome to my first voiceover. Enjoy the rest of the video. All right, so what's up everybody? We are gonna make some breaded cauliflower today. So I've already pre-cut it to like medium size pieces. It's like about 2 pounds of cauliflower. We're also gonna make a vegan sour cream, and I'll take you through that now. Let's get to the vegan sour cream, which we'll use to drizzle on top or dip. First, we have 3/4 of raw cashews soaked overnight, or if you're like me and you forget things like that all the time, to like pre-do them, you can just boil some hot water and put them in there until, soak them in that hot water until the water's cool. And then I've drained them, so there's that. And we'll just put them right in the little blender. So I'm gonna use a magic bullet to blend this sauce up. And then we are going to need half of a cup of non-dairy vegan yogurt. I'm just going to use this coffee cup to measure that. So I have this coconut yogurt. It's plain, unsweetened, vegan. It's called Silk. It's really good, actually. I put it on top of my oats in the morning now. In my opinion, if you're going to use vegan yogurt, the coconut one is the best one to go for. The other stuff seems to be a bit thin. This is more like a Greek yogurt, so it's quite a bit thicker. Next up, we are going to do 1 to 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. I'm going to use 2. This is one of those at your own discretion type things. If you don't like things as tart, just use 1. So I just pre-cut up a bit of that, so I'll just carefully squeeze it into there. Oh. There we go. 1, 2. And just put that aside. And then our very last ingredient for this is going to be or not very last ingredient, I lied. We are going to use 2 more ingredients. We got apple cider vinegar. Oh, it's here. So I've got the Bragg's Organic apple cider vinegar. I always give it a shake. There's stuff that just settles in the bottom. And again, this is another at your own discretion kind of thing. It says 3/4 of a teaspoon. So I've got a teaspoon here. I'll just use half of a teaspoon. There we go. And then we're going to use 1/2 to 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt to taste. So with something like salt, you might just want to add some more later on. Just taste it and stuff. There you go. And then yeah, it's going to blend that. So yeah. Well, I'll do that, and then we'll move on to the next part of how to make the cauliflower. All right, so I blended that for about 30 seconds. So we just want to have a little taste of that. Honestly, it tastes really good. I'm gonna leave it like that. So it is a little bit watery, but that's why I made it right now before we have to bake the cauliflower. Once we leave it in the fridge for a little while, it'll settle and get a little bit thicker. All right, so we're gonna take our cauliflower and put it into the wet mixture. And then we're just gonna mix it around until it's all nicely coated. This may take a minute. So once you get it to about that stage, you want to start to slowly add the dry ingredients. So you got like the panko and all the spices in here. And then again, you're going to want to just coat it a little bit at a time, mix it around. I used an entire cup of panko instead of adding panko and cornmeal. I don't really like the texture of cornmeal, and this would be the only recipe I would ever use cornmeal for. So I just used all panko, which I think should be fine. I also didn't really want to waste, because I would just have a whole bunch of cornmeal in my place forever doing nothing, never using it. And again, you got to be a little bit patient with this. Mix it around till it's fully combined. All right. So this whole time you should also be preheating your oven. Now hopefully you're not following along with me and doing it at the same time before you watch this. 400 Fahrenheit for about a half an hour. So probably just turn on your oven whilst this is happening, while you're mixing everything together. So yeah, this, I'm gonna say this is pretty mixed up, pretty good. So we're just gonna grab a baking sheet with either parchment paper or reusable silicone sheets, which I have. I've got my reusable silicone baking sheet. It looks kind of messy, but I have washed it a million times, but I haven't used it quite a lot. They last a really long time, I guess basically until they just fall apart. Mine have been going for a good year now, so really good option. It's an inexpensive option too. So I'm just gonna take these with my paws and line them up on the baking sheet. But yeah, so now they're gonna look like this, and then we're gonna put them in the oven for a half an hour, and we're gonna flip them like one time. So I'll put a timer for 15 minutes, turn them around, and then put them back in for another 15 minutes. All right, so we had like lots of leftover of the crumbs to make the cauliflower crunchy. So I just chopped up a bunch of mushrooms and put them in the pan with some vegan basil. And I'm just got them to be a bit sticky. Put it on low. I'm just gonna add some of these crumbs, maybe make use of them somehow. Just seems like such a waste because it probably would make them taste really freaking good. There we go. So those are on medium. I'm just pan fry those while we wait for the cauliflower to come up. All right, so we're about 15 minutes in. Got everything cleaned up here. Just gonna take them out. So they'll look like that. Looks like some of them are starting to turn a little bit brown and crispy. So then what we want to do is just turn them. You know what? I'm going to use my hands. So there's that. I'm just going to toss them back in for 15 minutes. And then on top of that, these mushrooms do look pretty tasty actually. They didn't get very crispy, but they're too hot to sample. But it's looking pretty good. All right, we're back. Let's see what we have here. Oh, hell yeah. That's what I'm talking about. The little brown pieces. You know what though? I think I'm gonna go a little bit longer. Maybe like another 5 minutes, just to get them as deliciously baked as possible. Yeah, so they're looking quite delectable. I don't know if you can really see that. There we go. Yeah, they could use another 5 minutes in my opinion. So there they go. Yeah, so you can make these two ways. Or today I'm gonna make them two ways. You can probably make them a couple other ways. Firstly, you can just put them on a plate and serve them with the sour cream drizzled on top. Or you can put them in tacos. You can even put them in tortilla tacos. I just don't have any right now. But I am going to put them today in little just pieces of romaine. Made them, cut off the bottoms, put them like little bowls, and so they're gonna be like tacos. And then I'll just put some inside here, and then I'll top them with the mushrooms and the salsa that I made last week. It's got lots left over because I made so much, which is awesome because I've used it at least one other time. But yeah, almost ready. So like I said, you can do them a couple different ways. We'll use the bigger pieces just for the plate presentation. Put a few on there. All right, and then yeah, so we have the sour cream. It has thickened up a bit. It's actually going to thicken up more, believe it or not. But yeah, you can literally just take it and drizzle it on top, or you can put it on the side and dip them, however you like. Whichever. So this is our finished product. There is our finished product with them as tacos. So yeah, I'm gonna dig right into these. Thank you so much for watching. Obviously, I'll put all of the ingredients for both the cauliflower and the sour cream in the description. I hope you get a chance to try them. They're a little bit more finicky, more steps to them, but they're definitely worth it. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification if you want to be notified for the next time videos come out. Peace.